Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I'm JT O'Sullivan. Today, Justin Herbert versus cover zero and the Dolphins. Who got the better of it? We're breaking it down. Let's get it started. Welcome to the QB School. So this video is a sample of what's available over on the QB School Patreon community. The link is in the description to the video. The full game analysis. Every snap with the Chargers offense, every snap with the Dolphins offense. Really cool to see the Tua Herbert comparison in real time, all 22 version. In that same regard, Justin Herbert made some really nice throws during the course of this game. Now, he definitely missed a number of throws as well. And we are going to spend a little bit more time with the misses today just because we're looking at cover zero. Now, the Dolphins are playing at a high level on defense. But I think the Chargers maybe let Herbert down as much as he let them down. So were there throws that were missed? Absolutely. Were there potentially opportunities down the field that were missed? Absolutely. Was there pressure in his face unnecessarily? Yes. Now, is that what cover zero does to you? Absolutely. Is that what good defense does to you? Absolutely. But at the same time, as a quarterback, once you prove that you potentially can't handle cover zero, that you might be seeing ghosts per se, it's on. For the next month, you're going to see a whole lot of cover zero. So get ready, Charger fans, because they are going to start heating you up. And there are certain answers, but nothing would be better than hooking up on a bunch of deep shots. And Herbert's thrown, shown that he can throw that deep ball really well, but missed a number of opportunities versus the Dolphins. We're looking at a small sample size. Don't get crazy, but understand that the book is starting to be built. And so if you struggle with a certain look, expect to see it and see it and see it until you prove, not only as a quarterback, but as an offensive unit, as the pass protection is tethered to the success of the quarterback, that you will see more and more cover zero. So let's get this video going. All right, the book is getting formed on Herbert. 3rd and short here, first quarter. We're getting zeroed all day, every day. Rookie life, NFL. We've got some pass pro issues here. We've got some sky mails. All sorts of issues for the majority of this game for Herbert versus zero. Now, what happened here? Over the top, we've got options. It's 3rd and short. We're going to see a shallow cross coming across. Now, let me just tell you, before we talk full details on the pass pro, this is a bad feeling playing quarterback with this amoeba bounce around, everybody stand up. This feels like there's like 18 dudes on defense. It's not a good feeling. Now, I will tell you that there's an element of once you understand and deconstruct the pressures most often, it is difficult to get home if you block it correctly. And what I mean by that is oftentimes you'll have two guys in the same gap. And if somebody's got the capacity to take two, then you're going to have a shot for a big play down the field. So scheme-wise, what's going on here is we've got a shallow, make the argument that the ball probably should go there. The ball ends up getting thrown to Allen on the quick out, and then the number one's got kind of a deep flag. So some decent zero beaters right here. They do a pretty nice job of passing this off. Just 3-layer cake this thing. So first one right here, come right here. The out lined up right there. That's where the ball ends up going. Then the number one gets passed off all the way up. And don't have time to throw that deep flag. But really, first downs, either this shallow right now if you like it, or this quick out if he's got the capacity to put the ball where he wants versus zero. But he's kind of fading away. Gets into a little bit of that kind of bad YMCA ball, shooting fadeaways when you're not guarded. But again, to me, he could set his feet and make this throw. Whether it's the shallow or the quick out. And I know, easier said than done with the clicker. But he's shown that he can make that throw consistently. Now, scheme-wise here, unless you're going full slide, meaning that the offensive line is, you can see the center communicating. Unless you're going full slide to the left, it's going to be really difficult to pick this stuff up. I also don't love having tight ends have to pass block with this type of stance. For me, also, I think that there's an element of confusion as far as what's going on with the right tackle. So let's just first talk pass pro, because we're going to go into detail here, pass pro on all of these. We're going slide left right here. These four have their inside gap. So right here, right here, right here, right here. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. Well, I'm not great at math, but there's only 4 gaps, and there's 5 guys on defense. So someone's going to get tailpiped here. So right here, without knowing exactly what's going on with this back, this right tackle, and this tight end, you can already tell we got all sorts of issues if I've got issues not knowing what three people are doing. Someone is wrong here on multiple levels. So it looks like the back thinks that he's going right here. So he kind of steps up here and is late, and the center ends up really taking two. He's got his left hand here, his right hand here. Does a great job taking two. I'm almost positive my man comes into this gap, so he's here. So that's really the two gap. So again, they're going to kind of tailpipe each other here. Something's wrong here, whether this tight end needs to be out or this tackle needs to be setting inside and do a full slide. But either way, this tackle is setting back like he's trying to come out here and block this defensive end. But when he does that and the tight end blocks him, now we've got a free lane right here. So issues all over the place. And the reason I point out all these issues without knowing the exact answers is it's hard to play quarterback when you got people coming at you like this. It's hard to play quarterback when you got a free runner in the B gap. Now, the back ends up coming back and blocking it, but it doesn't feel sound when you've got that white color rushing on you. But take a peek at the center here. That's dumbbell bench press, 200 pounds in your left hand, 300 pounds in your right hand. I love it. Outstanding. Again, you can see two in the gap, two in the right A gap, though. That's what happens when these things aren't sound all the time. He had enough time to make that throw, though. So a combination, pass pro issues, some quarterback fundamental issues. So how do you combat a young quarterback getting zeroed? You call screens, quick screens, now screens, tunnel screens down here to the bottom. Now they get fortunate that they get thrown into a blitz, even better. Plus, we get a little IHOP special, short stack. Love it. Left tackle doing a great job here, getting out, hitting the force defender, getting up for a little alley action there. Actually, straight up the alley, right up the numbers. Wide receiver does a nice job protecting the screen, and there it is. Stack them up. 21. Love it. Syrup. So it's a nice, easy answer that you're not always chucking it down the field versus zero. Now, it sure helps when you get the blitz right into the tunnel screen. So right here, we're coming off here, and we're running this little tunnel. We've got a personal protector here, up, back at it. This tackle, quick sets, and then he's coming out running the alley. For me, that's up the numbers. Good luck. Don't love seeing left tackles in space if you play DB. Okay, but it's a great answer to being able to not always having to chuck it down the field. Get the ball out of your hands quickly. If you don't watch the entire game here over on the QB School Patreon community, you won't realize that I want to say that at least 4 drive starters were screens, quick screens, some variation of screen for the Chargers. So not only is the book out that he's going to get zeroed, get a little bear front here, is that we're also going to get these quick screens, screen throws, a little Oregon life on drive starters right now for Herbert. But check out this short stack. Boom! Love it. Could have been more there too. More meat on the bone. So, going to continue to zero him. It's 3rd and 12. This is a pick at the bottom of the screen. Okay, again, bounce around. Everybody standing up. Not a good feeling. This time they bail out though. They want it to look like zero, but now it's just cover 3. Now, cover 3, a little double in with a 7. Basically, everybody run up and run to the right. Nice tackle from Herbert. Again, I'm going to have some issues with the design of this, but this is what happens when you start. This is an element of kind of seeing ghosts. You think you're going to get zeroed. You don't get zeroed. You just take a blind drop. He does a nice job looking off here. But this is what I would classify as not open. You know, he's running an outbreaking route right at the sticks. Best thing about this is the tackle. But there are a few things design-wise here for me that are going to be a struggle. So first thing to pay attention to is the route down here from the wide receiver. So this is often called a 7 route. It's a variation, maybe a circus or a bench, but these splits are very specific. So he's at the bottom of the numbers. He is going to burst in to the top of the numbers. That's a 2-yard burst inside release. Well, normally when you do that, you want the DB to get disjointed, thinking maybe you're going inside. If the DB just ends up staying outside you, well, now you've just given him a 2 yard more outside leverage. So when you come up to run this out past the sticks, he's already outside leverage even more than he would if you were to just run up and run a comeback. So this is not, to me, a straight up comeback. A comeback usually is run straight up and out, or run at the technique, like run a 9 route or a go route and come out of it. This is a more old school burst up 7 flat bench route. Then on the backside, I think we get double in here. So everybody up and to the right, but this is a difficult, if not impossible, throw versus this type of look, this type of cover 3. So again, just watch the route here, how this thing dials up as far as being able to lock it in here, exactly what it looks like when you got it going. They bail out. Again, look where the corner leverage is. I mean, that's tough duty, right? Tough duty. So again, burst release in. I mean, that corner's all over that. He's never threatened vertically. He knows exactly where the sticks are. Run 2 yards past the sticks, running out. It's amateur hour. That's your dirty undies. A ringer right there. Again, walk around, amoeba, 0, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it gets out on time, but it's just never there. And the construction of the play versus that coverage is going to be really difficult to be successful. But if it's not there, you'd love to see him get through his reads a little bit more. So now we're going to keep zeroing him. This time he's got a shot for a massive post. Again, punt rush. Now we got guys' hands on the ground. Not quite the same look, but this is straight 0, right? Nobody in the middle of the field. Got a massive post to the number 2 up top. And we miss it. Now, who knows where the landmark is that they're trying to hit? Usually you say that near hash. But again, we'll talk pass pro-wise exactly what's going on here. I think we've got some technical issues offensive line-wise. This is an O-line school, but it's important to understand pass pro conceptually for the quarterback position. But for me versus 0, you get 0 and you get this kind of stack look by the wide receivers up top. You're going to this is the perfect concept. Up and throw it. You got all this room to lay this thing out. You can't miss this way. What I mean by that is when you come up and he runs this post and he sets his angle, you can miss anywhere this way. You can't miss on this side. It's so much harder to adjust back like that. So he wants to set it as vertical as possible, but then you got all this space to miss. And I think all they run here is a little variation of like a mini dagger. They run this play 2 times in a row and get zeroed both times. This is the throw. This is the read. You just got to hook it up. You got to make them pay to have them stop zeroing you. That's the secret here to get out of 0. Again, here comes 0. I mean, look at the leverage on the corner. Outside leverage. Got him. All that space. Foul ball. So they're going to keep doing it. Now let's talk pass pro-wise. So again, you never know exactly what the blitz is as far as how they do these droppers. Sometimes you see these guys dropping out of there, not rushing. So are they really bringing 0? Are they dropping spot guys out? You don't know what their rules are as far as if they get picked up, do they drop out on the left side? But for me, again, tough duty, asking the tight end with his hand on the ground to block an outside linebacker or DN type in the NFL. But we're going to have issues here. So again, quickly through the math, it looks like here we're going full slide. Those 5 going these gaps. Just like that. The back is coming across. Now, what looks like happening to me, the thing that we'll pay attention to the most, again, we've already talked about gaps. Okay, they've got too many people for the number of gaps over there, meaning that if he goes here, he goes here, he goes here, he goes here, someone's got 2 guys in a gap. Now, they could make the argument that if he comes over here, they're gapped out. But when he comes across, they've got too many guys for 1 gap. What happens here, though, is footwork. My man at the right tackle. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on tackle footwork, but when you step with your right foot and you're responsible for the down gap, you're going to have a tough day. Real tough day. So he gets beat across his face, and they just keep going after him. So again, just the footwork element of, you can see just that little drop step with his right foot. Look at everybody else driving off the right foot, going left. The right tackle is the only one that takes a false step and gets beat across his face. So if the right tackle were to step with the correct foot, this thing is blocked up and we got a shot. But because the right tackle steps in correctly, the back then has to take the edge off. He doesn't get to the green dog on the tight end, the guy who has the tight end swapped up, head up. Once he blocks, he goes. And there it is. That's how you go from having a touchdown, massive play, to a foul ball, incompletion. All tethered to the pass pro. So, next down, literally the next play, 3rd and 9, the exact same play. Okay, now the defense is different, but it's still 0. Get zeroed again. It's the exact same combination, post with an in, and the out down here. So again, to me, I'm throwing the post. I know I just hit a foul ball, but there's another groove fastball. Now, can he set his feet? Maybe not, but this is a ridiculous throw. So he says no to the post, kind of bails, throwing the speed out late. He just threw a pick on a similar type out throw, comes back and makes this throw going backwards. This is the type of arm talent that just jumps off these early games for Herbert. Now, I know it's an incompletion, but again, check my man at right tackle. Notice any footwork issues? It's the next play, yo. Like, we'll talk about it again, but just watch this thing full speed. He doesn't catch it. They have to punt. Okay. But this is a nice play from Herbert. Getting this ball out. This is a ridiculous throw. But the whole process of it. So he brings him in. They check. Here comes 0. I'm throwing the post. Okay, you don't want to throw the post. You get flushed a little. Look at that throw on the out. I mean, it's a strike up on his face, fading away. Really nice. Now, we've already talked a little bit about the 0 pressures. Occasionally, guys will double gap. Okay, that's why you want to get in these full slides. Because, again, you can see the B gap on the right side. First of all, the right tackle steps in correctly. Okay, everybody else is driving off their right leg to the left. The right tackle's false stepping with his right foot. He's late to the B gap. Still holds him just enough, but you can see there's 2 guys in the B gap. That DB is coming. He's tailpiping him. He's never going to get there. So again, they're so close to blocking this up. But again, the right tackle takes an L. Back-to-back plays. All footwork. But that throw, that's ridiculous. Verse 0, really nice. Big time play. So what are they going to do again? They're going to hit him with 0. Now, this is almost before the 2-minute warning. This is a little bit different situation in the game. But this is 0. Keenan Allen is the number 3. He just runs a little over. And this is how you beat it. Now, I would say that this is terrible technique by the guy guarding him. He should be inside leverage, taking any in-breaking route away. That's too damn easy. But these are the type of built-in answers that you would love to see Herbert develop into his kind of 0 package lexicon way to have answers versus this. You can see him directing traffic, moving it around. Everybody walked up. Again, gapped out. We got 2 guys where? In the right C gap. Full slide again. Check the left tackle's footwork now. He's the guy who we were that same position. See how he takes a baby false step with his left foot. But he's driving off inside, protecting that inside B gap. We've got 2 guys off the right C gap. That's exactly what you want. You want the far runners having to run the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's bailing away from the pressure. And that's a strike. Right up on his face. Touchdown, barely. Ball crosses the goal line. But again, to me, how they get there for this one, you can see him shift him across. The DB should be lined up inside leverage. You can see Keenan Allen right outside the hash. That DB is head up. That's tough duty. I mean, once Keenan Allen releases inside right there, look at all the space he's got up top. That's just too easy. But again, Herbert does a nice job answering the bell. Really struggled all day versus 0 at the end of the game to at least exit the game feeling like, okay, I can handle this. But this is a bad feeling playing quarterback with this look. All you can do is full slide it, and hopefully you have a 0 beater and somebody can get out there and win. But look at the leverage on the right side of the screen. I mean, look at all the space to the left. Pretty nice. This is what happens. You finally block it up correctly, you got a shot for big plays. But they certainly showed that they can't handle it all game. So they're going to see it week in and week out until they prove that they can handle this 0 issue. So that's a wrap. Justin Herbert versus cover 0. Some issues, obviously. Missing some throws, some pass protection issues, some concept concerns potentially. But it was nice to see him eventually turn the corner. Now, obviously, there was a breakdown on that last play with the coverage, the touchdown to Keenan Allen. But still, at least he solved it. One puzzle that day. So they're going to see more and more of that. It's going to be fun to see how the league kind of evolves to the book that Herbert's put out, the film that Herbert's put out to show what he does well, what he doesn't do well. If you start to be able to struggle against a certain look in the NFL, you will see it every single week until you prove you have answers. So thanks so much for hanging to the end. If you want to see the entire video, hop over to the QB School Patreon community. I appreciate the support. Have a good one.